Welcome to Social Media Meltdown this week. I'm Joe.
And I'm Caitlin.
We're back. Again for another great show. This week's awesome topic is, well, Caitlin, what is this week's topic?
It is the age-old question. And by age-old, I mean the last, couple years. 2 years, maybe 3 years, whatever.
It's ancient.
It is. It's, people have been asking themselves this same question for generations. Do all companies need social media?
Good question.
It's a great question. I'm glad I came up with it.
It's a gift. It must be a gift of some sort. Anyway, I think it's a very valid question because there are a lot of different companies out there, and there's a lot of different ways to use social media. Does every company need social media? Okay, obviously companies that are selling things probably should use social media, but just because you sell something, is that like okay, I'm selling things, I must be using social media to get to my audience? What if I don't think like a company we've talked about it a little bit with GM. Does a company like a third-party auto supplier, do they need social media?
Depends. Okay, so social media does work for every company as long as you've thought about who your audience is. So a third-party automotive supplier, someone who doesn't need to find customers because they're not going to go and troll customers on Facebook.
Yeah, and just for somebody who's not clear with that term, by the way, we're from Detroit, so we're just surrounded by the automotive industry. A third-party supplier would be someone like the guy who makes the radio for your car. Maybe Ford doesn't make the radio, but they just source it in from a company that just brands it Ford or something like that.
The person that I don't know, makes the switches for your windshield wipers or something. Yeah. I don't know if people realize this, but not everything in your car is made by the person that made your car.
There's a lot of companies out
there. It is not made by the person that made your car. They just put it together.
So yeah, I mean, some supplier that already has we already got a big account with Honda and Yamaha and whoever. Why do they need any sort of social media? And
even if you didn't have an account for Honda, you're not going to go on Facebook and then find Honda's Facebook and be like, hey Honda, I make the best switches for the FM button in the whole world.
Exactly. So
that's not what you're going to use it for. So you really have to think about who your audience is. And with companies, they all have not just a customer audience. They have the community. So a lot of them are very involved with the community. They want to be seen as a responsible member. So although they may take up, this huge parcel of land and they make the traffic more congested with all their trucks coming in and out and the city hates them and all the neighbors hate them. But then when they're out there every Friday cleaning up trash, everyone loves them. So you can use Facebook to show everyone you're picking up trash and that you're a zero landfill facility, and then people love you. So that's one way it can be done, or all the donations that you're making to other organizations, and
so it's sort of a direct marketing tool. You're trying, that's what I'm picking up here.
And it also can be used to recruit new employees. So writing about all the awesome things you do, and look at our employees, they're having so much fun, and they love working here, and then people want to work there, and they want to like you on Facebook just to follow what you're doing. And I always, before really Google's on many of the social networks, when I was kind of early in college, I used to go on their website all the time just to look at all the pictures that they would post of all their employees, because I wanted to work there so bad. And I didn't want to work there because it was Google. I wanted to work there because they had ping pong going on and people on roller skates. And even though your company might not have that, just being able to see a community at work is really enticing to some people. They just want to feel like they're part of something, and that's what social media can do for them.
So, when you look at a return on investment, or ROI, for social media, since we're talking corporate right now, what if you're in front of an executive and they're like, well, I wouldn't use social media because you're only showing off what's in the company, it seems like it's a hard case to make.
So there's one real easy way to make this case. You could have all the points against you. Social media is not for us. We don't have any customers that's on Facebook. We don't have anything to say. We don't want to say anything, so why would we be on it? The one thing with a little bit of research that you can get this whole thing to go through is one of your competitors somewhere has already gone down the slippery slope and has put themselves on social media. Once your competitor has something on social media, you no longer have a choice. If you want to compete with them as an employer, as a supplier of some sort, you have no choice. You now have to do it.
But isn't that like the same logic? Like, well, if AC Delco's jumping off a bridge, should you two do it too?
I mean, we had these conversations years ago when everyone was buying a .com and having a website, and it's literally the exact same conversation. So if we go back to the third-party supplier, Ford is not going to my FM Switch's website and learning about me.
They're not.
We pay people at my company to go to Ford and pitch the crap out of my company. And that is how we get their business. They're not Googling FM Switch supplier.
Third party.
Why do I have a website? I have a website so that the community can find me, that prospective employees can find me, that my competitors can see that, hey, I'm really awesome and you're not. And that's what it's for. So it's just basically the same conversation that we had, 10 years ago or whatever. It's probably longer than that now.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Time is flying, isn't it?
No.
So, I mean, it's really just the same question.
I think that's a really good point. It's just like one of those things that big companies are looking at like, well, I mean, if we only have 500 Twitter followers and Lady Gaga has 3 bazillion, why would we even do it? It doesn't make any sense. And I think that in time it's going to be one of those things that's expected, just like a website. In fact, if you don't have a Facebook presence right now, it's already expected of you. And I think a lot of social media experiences are left to be desired with larger companies, especially these companies that aren't at the forefront of selling to customers. Mm-hmm. Companies like that sell the little doodads and switches and kind of behind the scenes, like the company that has pneumatic drills or something like that. Like, this is what we're the Pneumatic Drill Corp of America, blah, 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 XYZ. I think that the one time where somebody is looking for that, maybe a prospective employee, like you were saying, could be searching for that stuff. If your information is readily available and it's accessible, it's only more accessible for people to find it. There's no bad point to doing it, and it doesn't really take that much time, but that's the other thing. You can have, and I've seen this countless times where there's a company that, like, you're looking through and you're scrolling like, oh, wow, they're posting videos and they're doing news of the day, and that lasts for like 2.5 weeks because it was just like some summer intern, and then like it's over. You're like, well, we didn't see any investment in the 2.5-week trial period that we gave this social media trial period, so now we're looking at you just have an old Twitter feed that sits there, Pneumatic Drill Corp USA with 14 updates and 3 followers.
Yeah.
And that actually looks really, really bad. I think
what looks worse? Not having anything or having something that hasn't been outdated?
Yeah.
Or hasn't been updated, I mean.
I think that's the obvious answer is having something that hasn't been updated. I mean, if you have something that's like June 2008, like that's the last update on your Facebook profile, and I mean, you look at that and you might as well have like a rusty old building with linoleum siding falling off of it, because that's how it looks to the internet. You look at it and it's better to not even be there. It's better just to get off the space. And I think social media is one of those things where you have to be active, you have to be persistent, and take 30 minutes out of your day, find a story, post it, take a couple seconds out of your week and engage what, even if it is a little bit of people, engage those people so they know that, hey, you're there. And I mean, the stuff, Rome wasn't built in a day. Like that still holds true. Facebook, we should probably say like Google wasn't built in a day. Think of how long that stuff was in the background and being built for. So
instead of the question, does every business need social media? I think the answer is obviously yes. And the question more is to what level? The level in which you use social media is really going to depend on the company. So some might be, once a day posters. It should never be less than like twice a week posting. And that might work for some companies. I think a supply. Some companies.
I think twice a week still might be over the top for some companies. I'm saying like a once a week, maybe even once a month if it's good content. Like if it's good content and you put out your monthly newsletter and you say you're tagging everything in the post and it's just a really comprehensive post, go for it. But it needs to be consistent. And it needs to be something that is relevant. It can't just be, happy birthday to Kayla, it's your birthday today, and like just a couple stupid posts like, here's my kids playing in a pool. It needs to be a product demo. This is our industrial screwdriver that can drill holes through, whatever. It needs
or this is our senior engineer Anna picking up trash on the side of the road to benefit, I don't know.
Or here's what's in the pipeline that's going to be developed. Why are we interesting? Why are we a good company? It doesn't need to be a huge commitment every day, but it should be a commitment that is on a regular basis.
Even if like you have a lot of job openings, just posting like every couple days, hey, we have this job opening. Hey, we have this.
And that kind of stuff makes you look good with the community too around you. It's one of those things like a social media for most companies is going to be one of those support positions where maybe it doesn't have the giant return on investment right away, but it will return dividends in other ways, like picking up great employees that are persistent and want to work there, or finding out things about the community, or being part of the community to even further your reputation as a great company.
And you know what I see a lot, especially with companies that don't really have a big social media presence. They have some, and they keep it updated, and they do their best with it. But it's really good for employee morale. You see employees writing on their employer's wall, just like, love to work here, or I really enjoyed the ice cream social today, or like people just tagging them in their own status updates that said, had a really great week at Switches.
Yeah.
My company is now Switches. Stuff like that. And it really does a lot for employee morale. And if you have multiple locations and you have employees meeting each other from other locations, and it's really just kind of cool if you want to look at it that way. I mean, it doesn't always have to be the customer and the consumer, and there are other audiences out there that fit.
It could be used as a budget SharePoint. It could be used as a budget intranet for companies too, for smaller companies that are on this kind of stuff. There's a lot of unique ways to use the stuff. So just and plus if you look active and you look healthy, that's another good thing. But one thing,
I mean, like right now, if you Google a company and they don't have a website, they don't exist. Pretty soon, people are only going to use that Facebook search bar, and if you don't exist there, then you don't exist. I mean, we're not gonna. I mean, it's the same thing. If you don't have a website,
and that kind
I don't know how to call you.
Right? It's like you might as well not have a phone because it's not going to be ringing.
Yeah.
But like,
what do I do?
Without a website, you're not a company anymore.
Which actually happened to me recently. I took some stuff to a consignment shop, and then I wanted to call them to see when I could pick it up. They don't have a website. They didn't give me your phone number. And I called information. I was at my last resort.
Oh my gosh.
They're not listed.
It was the 80s.
It was. I felt like I lived in a Stone Age. I had to drive there.
Yabba dabba doo! Like,
Drive there.
You had to drive. Wow, you might as well just got on your horse and buggy.
My computer, and I had to drive there. It was awful.
I would not use that place.
No.
Anyway, I guess you're supporting your local business, so that's great.
Yeah, whatever.
But now, does every company need to be in every social media? In every media network? Does every company need to be in LinkedIn?
You know I have a soft spot for LinkedIn.
I know, that's why I'm asking the question.
Every company absolutely, at the very least, needs to be on LinkedIn.
Okay, all right, I agree.
One, it drives itself. You're not even expected to make status updates on LinkedIn. It's a tool more for your employees to network with each other. It's a central hub so they can find other people.
And it's also a good way to find out when your employees are fatigued at work.
Yeah. So it's great because you literally have to do nothing. Make an account, slap your logo up there, you're basically done. But every company does not need to be on every social network, and you'll hear different answers from different people. But I truly believe that certain networks fit with certain content. So if you are just going to be really text heavy with all your status updates, and there is nothing wrong with that, you're going to post your job postings and links to where you can apply online, Pinterest is not for you. Pinterest is not for you. But if you have product photography that's really awesome, and you want to post pictures of your new t-shirts and people wearing your shirts and how your shirts have traveled all over the world, whatever, then yes, Pinterest works for you, I guess. If you are making instructional videos on your new cooking utensils, Pinterest is great because you can do videos and pictures. So anything visual, great for Pinterest. Facebook is kind of along the lines of LinkedIn. It's good for everyone, especially the biggest growing market right now for Pinterest is my mother.
Is it? It's middle-aged ladies.
Middle-aged ladies, so my mother. So that's
always the growing market.
It is. They love the internet. So that's a good place for you to go. And with the younger generations, Twitter is really big. So once again, if you have quick and witty content, then you got Twitter.
Or Quiddy content.
Yes, Quiddy content.
I wonder if that's a website. Don't take that. I'm going to use it for something. It sound like a Web 3.0 name?
Quiddy.
I guess maybe it's more of a 2.0.
Yeah.
1.9. It's one of those failed investments. Anyway.
But so I think bottom line with all this is social media is definitely not something that you can just jump into as a company. You need to honestly sit down and put together a strategy of who your audience is, what they do. Do a little bit of research. Research your competitors, because like I said, if your competitors are there, you better be there because your absence is noticed. If your competitor has fans, then people have noticed you don't have any. So.
Yeah, no action is action within itself. So.
Yeah. So sit down, put together a strategy, do your research, and then all of this will work itself out. It'll all make sense. But if you just jump in and sign up for
so basically just
Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever.
Yeah. Orchid. Google Plus, Orchid, LinkedIn.
Does Google Plus work for companies?
Oh, now that's a question. It depends on the company, right? I've seen a lot of photo sharing and a lot of good photo people on Google Plus, but you'd think they would just use Instagram, right? Like, Google Plus is going to be there. There's no way to get around it because if you have a Google account, you're going to be using your Google Plus, and it's just going to be one of those background services.
It's like unwanted stepchild that people can't get away from.
I don't think it's like that. I think it's like the nosy mom who knows everything about you.
And you just want her to go away while
just leave me alone. I don't see it like because they've been a lot less aggressive with the marketing of it. They're like, all right, you know what? Maybe we're not going to be the next Facebook, but we will. You just won't know it until it's already happened.
Yeah, they're just going to sneak up on you.
It is. That's exactly what their strategy is.
I think their tactic is we will just make Google Plus part of everything, so you accidentally use it all the time.
That's exactly what they said at the development. What was it? It wasn't the. Oh gosh, I look like an idiot because I don't remember the name. But the conference that they just had last week, that's what they said. They were like, Google Plus is gonna be there because you're gonna use it and you have no choice.
Well, not even just Google Plus. I mean, like Google in general. They're just gonna make it everywhere, so you don't have a choice.
Well,
I guess Google's already a verb, so.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Kleenex.
We already got there, so.
Well, if you have a question or comment or concern for this show, please give us an email. Our email address is socialmediameltdown@justcoolenough.com. Again, that email address is socialmediameltdown@justcoolenough.com. Send us an email our way, and we will answer it promptly and maybe even answer it on the air if it's worthwhile. Did we get any questions from any live listeners?
Let me click. No.
Okay.
Not today. They're very shy.
Very shy live listeners. By the way, we are recording the show live. Look for the details in the comments below on this YouTube channel. But now, plugs for this week. Do you have any plugs, or are you being a lazy person about it?
Were you lazy?
Yes. Why did you call me out?
I am going to plug for not one last week, because I want people to keep watching them, but I'll do one. This will be the last time I talk about it for a while. Joe and I went to Social Media Day, Detroit, on June 30th, so last week-ish. And it was a huge party at Motor City Casino. It's part of the Mashable holiday that they're pushing through. And it was really awesome. We interviewed about 8 different people in the industry, people from Yelp and Quicken Loans, which is a big deal right now in Detroit because they just moved this huge office here and they're doing a lot of social recruiting. We spoke to the person at social media for the Detroit Red Wings, the person at the social media for Motor City Casino itself. And there's a lot of other ones, and they're really awesome, and they give a lot of good perspective on social media as well as what the technology is doing for the city of Detroit.
Yeah.
So if you haven't already, check them out.
I have to say, like, we posted over 2 hours of interviews, and there's something in there for you, especially if you're a social media professional or you're looking at this being a potential career field. There's a lot of good nuggets that were dropped off that aren't just nuggets that are going to be relevant for 6 months. These are things that are going to be relevant for the duration that we're using social media before it turns into something else. Like, I don't even know.
Telepathic
media.
I mean, that's really where it's going.
I mean, what kind of overlays? I mean, things like that just get drained right into your brain. I wanted to plug Most People Are DJs. We actually interviewed these guys over at the Social Media Day at Motor City Casino, and it is mostpeoplearedjs.com, and it was just a good time. They have a good site, and it's actually a really unique.
You guys kind of nerded out for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. In
the middle of the interview.
In the middle of the interview, we were just nerding out about podcasting and stuff, and I had a nerdgasm on air, and you can watch it. It's not as gross as it sounds. It was a good time. So anyway, you should definitely check out Most People Are DJs. It was a great interview, but if you want to continue on that, check out mostpeoplearedjs.com, and that's my plug for this week. I've actually been enjoying them. I subscribe to their feed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I also don't want people to get turned off by the fact that you said we uploaded 2 hours of video. It is broken up by interview, so there's 8 videos that make 2 hours.
Yes, it's
I heard 2 hours, and I was like, oh, I have better things to do with my time.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I mean, like, you're not going to sit there for 2 hours and watch it, but we did make a playlist, so you can start and stop, because we know, like, this kind of stuff, a video over 7 minutes better be damn captivating, because nobody's going to watch it.
They're really great.
Yeah.
They're really, really great.
So check them out.
Check them out.
Check them out. All right. Well, I think that was a very successful show.
I agree.
Excellent.
It's always nice doing business with you.
Pleasure. Online handshake. Yes. Excellent. Have a good day. Thanks again.
All right, so make sure you tune in next week, and we'll do another live show about some other fabulous topic that, I don't know. I have some things working in my head, so we'll see what we do next week. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, comments, I don't know, want to yell at us or tell us how awesome we are, like Joe said, you can email us at socialmediameltdown@justcoolenough.com.
And as always, you can follow us on our Twitter feeds right down there at the bottom at SpeedyF40. It's the best one ever.
I don't know if you know this, but Joe and I are in a contest to 1,000 followers.
Oh, you gotta bring it up now that you're 100 ahead of me. No, here. Bye, everybody.